So hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you all are well and you've had a nice international break. So this is how my team is intended to line up for the game week 9, and this is my wildcard draft. I'll start briefing you from the goalkeepers I have. So I've picked up Ward and Guetta, the keeper duo on my side. I'll be playing Ward in this game just because he faces Nottingham Forest. Meanwhile, Guetta will be on the bench against Chelsea. So yeah, I'll just rotate the keepers. Most probably, I'll be playing Guetta mostly because Crystal Palace, I personally think, have a little bit better defensive qualities they have. So yeah, I would prefer Guetta over Nick Pope. Obviously, Nick Pope is a good option, but if you can save up some bench to invest in, save up some bank to invest in other sites. So I would really prefer someone like that. So yeah, so these are the two keeper choices I have. I've picked up Guetta and Ward, telling you guys once again on them. So moving on to my defense, I've got Cancelo. Obviously, Cancelo is a top-notch attacking wingback. He's been among the attacking returns this season. So yeah, this is the main reason I've picked him up. Secondly, I've got Trippier, another attacking wingback, and the sole reason to pick him is that Newcastle might not keep a lot of clean sheets, but with Trippier you've got that set piece edge. He might get you those points when he's not among the clean sheet. So yeah, Trippier is the main reason I've picked him up from Newcastle's defense. Then we've got James, another attacking wingback. For all the reasons I've picked up Trippier and Cancelo, James is the guy I have picked up for the attacking returns. So yeah, moving back to Cancelo. Cancelo basically faces United this game week. Obviously, United are now a better side. They are playing a very good game since the past few game weeks. But I would still prefer Cancelo in the side for the attacking returns. And a premium wingback is obviously a good opportunity to have in your side. And the same reason is the Trippier I've picked up for the same reason. He's got a good fixture. Then James, he plays Crystal Palace. James has not been among the attacking returns for a while now, but to be very honest, I still believe in him. He's very good in going forward, and he's one of those attacking wing backs. When he goes big, he's gonna get you a lot of points. So moving on to the bench, I've got two defenders there. I've got Botman. So yeah, to cancel out that, many managers have that, duo of Trippier and Nick Pope. So if they are among the clean sheets, and obviously I don't have Nick Pope, I might just play Botman and Trippier together to extract out those clean sheet points. If obviously Newcastle is not among those clean sheets that I'm talking about, I would just take Botman out of the side and go for someone cheaper like Gui or some other defender. Then I've got Dalot, obviously 4.5 million. Dalot has been really good in that side. He's a nailed wing back. Obviously not as good as all the other wing backs I talked about, but Dalot might return you clean sheets in some of the games. He's up in upcoming game weeks. Not obviously against Man City, but he's got nice fixtures ahead. And under Ten Hag, United was like bound to be a good team, and they would start slowly and gradually become one. Then you've got in the midfield you've got Luis Diaz. I'm sticking with Luis Diaz for 8.1 million midfielder. Obviously, Liverpool are not playing the best game they used to play, but picking up Diaz, I still believe in them. I think they might pick up their lost form, and I would love to have one of their attacking midfielders. Obviously, not Salah and not any other, but Diaz, a cheaper one, and I wouldn't miss out on Liverpool's attacking returns if they go big. Then you've got Martinelli at 6.4. He's obviously now risen in price, but to be very honest, Martinelli is that cheap option that is obviously a nailed starter, and he'll get you those attacking returns. Then obviously next I've got Zaha. Zaha is expected to return big points in the upcoming game weeks. Like you see in game week 10, he's got Leeds, then he's got Leicester, then Wolves. So these are all some of the nice game weeks. Crystal Palace might have a good run in these games, and Zaha would obviously, if they score goals, Zaha is usually their main man, and he might be among those attacking returns that is expected of him. So yeah, 7.2 I've invested on Zaha, and I'm pretty confident on him. Obviously not one of those safest pick out there, but 7.2 and good fixtures. I would love to invest in a player of his quality. Then I've got Madison at 8 million. Madison has a good run of fixtures. He has been among the attacking returns. He has shown his attacking quality. So yeah, 8 million at Madison for 8 million. He's obviously risen in price, I guess, but I've had him for 8 million. So yeah, that is the price that is being shown. So he's got Nottingham Forest, he's got Bournemouth, he's got Crystal Palace, he's got Leeds. Obviously Leicester are not playing their best game, but with the Madison, Madison and the likes of Vardy and all the other Vardy, not a nailed starter, but when they both play, and all the other Barnes and the attackers they have, they are obviously usually among the goals. That is what we get from Leicester. Not a very good defensive side, but attackingly they are still top notch. Andreas is the fifth midfielder in my side, who's on the bench at 4.5 million. He faces Newcastle this week, so I'll just be using him as a bench option in the midfield when the others have a tough fixture. I'll show you up next when I'll just switch the game weeks to tell you how I am intending to line up in for the game weeks and what I've planned. So moving on to the three forwards, Isaac got injured, so I've moved on to Mitrovic. Mitrovic 6.9 million. He has been pretty good internationally, and he was scoring before going on an international break. Obviously, he missed out on one game when most of the managers picked him, but he still has the ability. He's their main man, and Mitrovic is a really good finisher in front of the goal. And talking about finishers, we've got Haaland against Man United. He'll most probably hold the armband this week for my side, and just telling you about the armband, we all know what Haaland is capable of. He's just on a scoring spree and is expected to score 40-50 goals with the ratio he's going up right now. Now, the main differential I have in my side is Harry Kane. I've picked up Harry Kane over KDB. If you look at Harry Kane's stats, obviously KDB, if he scores, you get an extra point. But with Harry Kane, he's been very consistent. He's been scoring goals. And that is what I wouldn't want to miss out on. Harry Kane, if he goes big, he's like in the North London derby against Arsenal. So he has a good record against scoring against Arsenal. Then he's got Brighton. Brighton lost their manager, they were a good defensive side under Potter, but we don't know how this new manager will play, and what are his what would be his lineups, and how would he actually play tactically. So I would still have Harry Kane, an exposing forward, a guaranteed points returner in his current form. Then Everton, another good fixture. So yeah, this is what I'm intending to do with the side. A 3-4-3 formation in this one, with Guetta, Botman, Andreas and Dallo on the bench. So this is how I'm intending to line up with the wild card. Also, if you've joined here, you can send in your questions, and I would try my best to answer them. And please do subscribe to the channel if you're new here. We're just starting this streaming thing, and obviously I'm a little nervous with this is just my third stream. So yeah, hopefully it gets better with time. So I'll just move on to the next game week to show you guys how would my team look like in that. Is game week 10, and yep, so this is how I would like to go for game week 10. Let me just switch the keeper. So yep, now we've got Cancelo, we've got Trippier, we've got James at the back. Luis Diaz plays Arsenal, obviously a tough fixture. Martinelli plays Liverpool. We can just switch him around. You can play Dallo here if you want. I've got Dallo, a good option against Everton, might return a clean sheet. And if Crystal Palace are going big, I can have him at the back too. But obviously I'll prefer Dallo because he's a wing back and he might get me those attacking returns. So this is how I would go in game week 10, and I would not be using any transfer. I would just obviously save my transfer and give the armband to Haaland in this one. I still have 0.1 in the bank to move around if I want to, but I really don't see any moves I would like to make in game week 10. So if I move to game week 11, so this is how my side would look like in game week 11. Cancelo plays Liverpool, Trippier plays Man United. We've got the option of Botman in here too if we want, but Man United not an easy fixture, so I wouldn't prefer a double up at the back against Man United. So you can just play Andreas against Bournemouth. If Diaz is not performing, I have this option, and I would like bank 2 transfers here and just go to game week 12 and use one of my transfer to take out Luis Diaz. Martinelli obviously plays Leeds, and this is also a good option. If I feel like, that all depends upon the situation in game week 11. But to be very honest, in game week 10 I wouldn't have to use any transfer, so this is what I was focusing. I would have options in game week 11 and 12 too, but I would still have to use one free transfer. Now moving on to the blank game week, if I do not make any transfer, obviously I would have to make one, otherwise I lose them. So I still have a good side to go in with the blank. I would just let the blankers sit on the bench, and this is how the team would go in. Obviously I'll just captain Kane in this one, or there's Zaha, there's Madison. Obviously against Leeds, a good option. Against a defensively weaker Leeds, Luis Diaz, it all depends upon his form. So yeah, this is how I would look like in the blank game week. Look like for me. Now just moving back to game week 9. So yep, I don't know why the chat is disabled here. It shows the chat is disabled. I don't know the settings yet, but I'll just check it online if you've got some. I would still need some time to work out on these. Let me just check if there are some questions. I would also love suggestions from you guys. If you could just chip in some of your suggestions. I don't know why the live chat is not open. Yeah, I would still need some time to figure this out. So yes, a lot of managers are obviously going for KDB in the midfield, and I've gone for Kane. If you got any suggestions, you can. I don't know how would you do that. There's no live chat option, and I don't know how to put that on. But you can obviously just let me know in the comments below, or at the Twitter, or on my Twitter where I've just shared the tweet. You can just ask me questions there if you want. If you've got questions. Yeah, just leave a question on the Twitter handle where I've just shared this tweet, and I'll answer your questions. I don't know why it is not showing here. I'll just set it up the next time and probably be like more punctual with these streams, so yeah, that things get better next time. So yeah, this was my team selection. You can see I don't have 0.6 million bank. Actually, I have 0.2. I'll just correct that later on. 435 points. I currently have it. 23k is the overall rank. I didn't use my wild card last week, so yeah, I had a rank decrease, and there's 1236 in the country. So this is where I currently stand. And people, please do subscribe to the channel if you're watching and you're new here. Please do subscribe. Today is the anniversary of my channel, and thank you all for the 650 subscribers I got. This actually means a lot, and you guys have been a real help for me. I would obviously be back again with the live streaming again in the UCL fantasy. So you guys, I'll set up the comment section there, so that would be helpful. And the next time I do the FPL stream, I'll just put up the comment section in that too. I'll just look at the settings online to do that. So yeah, this is how the team again is lining up. I'm just repeating myself again and again. So 7 transfers I've made. Obviously got to hit that wild card. I did that back earlier when when we went on an international break. So this is what I've got. I would obviously look at a couple of options before locking in. For botman, a double up of Newcastle. They are obviously a decent defensive side, but some of the fixtures are not really, like against Brentford, they are still an attacking side. Against Fulham, they're still an attacking side. So this is where I'm still in doubt. This is why I didn't go for Pope. With Trippier, you might get that clean sheet, but with Pope, a double up. If you end up losing the clean sheet, that's all done. But with Guaita, a different team, you still have a chance of a clean sheet. Obviously, not a guaranteed there too that he might keep a lot of clean sheets, but he is expected to keep some clean sheets in next couple of games. So this is where I intend to just go for Guaita and save that 0.6 million, and invest that somewhere else. I've got still got 0.2 million in the bank. That is just plan FPL. So a couple of price rises in this planning thing, but actually made the team during the international break. So I have 0.2 million in the bank. Obviously, there's one more option. If I don't want Botman, there's Gueye. If I want him, he's cheaper, 0.1 million cheaper than Botman, but it would be a double of Crystal Palace, and I'm not so sure about it yet. Also, a lot of managers are going for yeah, a lot of managers are going for some for the likes of Nick Pope in goalkeeper in the goalkeeper choice, and I personally feel that is all right too, but still a double up is something I wouldn't really recommend. I mean, you can look at other options too, like Guetta, or there were options like Pickford. People really picked Pickford up, so you might experiment in that situation, but still, to play safe, you might just go for Pope because a lot of managers already own him. I've also seen drafts with a lot of managers who've got Trent Alexander-Arnold at the back and they're still trusting him. So yeah, I mean, that is not obviously not a bad move. We've seen him throughout seasons giving out those attacking returns, and this is why he's so costly and people love to own him. And it is expected of him to soon be back in his form and just go for those attacking returns. Similar is the situation with Salah. I've seen people draft with Salah and they've gone with KDB. Some of them not still, but they've picked up Son after his tremendous performance. After his he came off the bench and he scored a hat trick. So all these are some of the 50-50 punts that people are opting for. It's really weird to see Salah at that 50-50 punt stuff, but his current form is not pretty nice, and he's not that solid option until he starts performing. And once he goes big, we've seen what Salah can do. So yeah, if Salah starts firing, what I would do is I would get rid of Kane upfront. I would obviously keep things aligned in a way that I've got 2 free transfers in the games where against West Ham, Liverpool starts playing against West Ham and all the easy fixtures. I would have 2 fixtures in that, not 2 fixtures, sorry, 2 free transfers for that, and I would just downgrade Harry Kane to someone, and any striker. Solanke is someone very popular among the FPL managers these days. I don't know what he's done to be, so popular, but he's an option. If he starts scoring goals, he can be in there for Kane, and I would just upgrade Luis Diaz. He would leave me with a lot of bench. Similar is the case if Martinelli is no more an option. He might just go out of the team in that blank game week, and I would just look at some other options. Obviously, there are not many options at that price, but if I downgrade Kane later on in the season and pick up Salah, I would still have money to like spread around, and I would just replace Martinelli with a couple of United options. We have Rashford, Sancho, if they are in a good scoring rhythm. Obviously, some of the teams where we might see rotation stuff. Luis Diaz a nailed starter, but we still might see a couple of rotation stuff, with the Champions League coming back. Jota is back in form. They've got Nunes, so I'm expecting Liverpool to be back in form with all their, forward line fit. Thiago is back in their midfield, so I would still, somewhat give them an upper hand. Not obviously in winning the league, but in their current form, they still would outclass some of the oppositions they play against. So yeah, Madison is obviously a long keeper for these good fixtures till he's performing. Once he goes out, we might just switch to Saka and other options we have. Obviously, Arsenal are now going for a tough fixtures. They will be facing some tough teams. So once that phase is off, Martinelli to Saka or Martinelli to someone from United. That is what I have in mind. So these are some of the players I would have. I would obviously go for take out Martinelli and or downgrade Luis Diaz probably, and just go for like 2 cheaper midfielders. One would be a really cheap one, the other one would be like Rashford, but it's still too early to punt on those picks. If you have him and you are trying to punt on them, it would be a good risk, a high risk, high return sort of stuff, but I would still wait on the United assets for now. Uh, I've obviously picked up Dallo. You might be thinking I'm telling you to wait, but I've got Dallo. I'll just be using him as a bench option, but I would play him. We've seen them keeping a couple of clean sheets in some of the games they played against weaker oppositions. Martinez in their defense is pretty good. Varane is playing some exceptional games. So Dallo, obviously no attacking returns if in a game against a weaker opposition, we might see some clean sheet points in those games. Andreas at 4.5 million, we don't have a nailed starter at that price, so Andreas stays in the side for probably till the end of the season. So yeah, I would like to thank you all for joining in. I'm really sorry, I don't know how and why there's no live chat in it, but you can just ask your questions if you want to on the Twitter, where I've on my Twitter handle where I've shared the tweet. You can just ask me those questions there. I would try to answer all of them, and the next time I would try my best to fix this whatever is gone wrong here. Let me just check the settings here. I don't know if this would still work, but yeah, there are no settings here to fix this. I would just try this later on. So yeah, this is how I'm intending to line up for this game week, and Harry Kane or Haaland probably would be my captain. Haaland, I'm really leaning on towards the Norwegian because of his current form. Obviously, Kane is scoring too, but Haaland, he's one of those explosive strikers who will get you some 20-30 points with the armband. Obviously, United are not the same United, but still Man City, they've got the best team in the world currently. But probably, there might be some of the teams that might outclass them, but there aren't many, with the likes of Real Madrid or some other teams like that. But they're obviously a top-notch side. Real Madrid is a top-notch side. So we can see a couple of good games from Haaland in the next two fixtures. Don't know about how he'll go against Liverpool. Obviously, it all depends upon the Liverpool's current form in that fixture in game week 12. So I would like to thank you all for joining in. This is how I intend to line up. Thank you all for joining in. Please do subscribe. I'm really sorry for no comment section showing up here. I will try to fix that in the next one. Thank you all for watching. Please